Saturday Night Football, live from the Coca-Cola Championship.
I love you, Steve-O, but not enough to let you eat my corners and my bookings.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's...
Saturday Night Football.
We have a top-of-the-table battle for you tonight in the Coca-Cola Championship. It's Watford against Charlton from Vicarage Road on Sky Sports 1 and HD1 on Channel 408. Well, back in October, Watford were 9 points clear at the top. Tonight, they kick off 4 points adrift of West Brom, who were held today at home by Cardiff. And the race for the playoff places is hotting up as well. Charlton start this match in 6th place. A very good evening to you. This was a Premier League fixture last season, and both teams still very much in the mix for an instant return. Watford have had their troubles of late, particularly at home, and tonight they're without their leading scorer, Marlon King. He seems to be Fulham bound, though there is some work still to be done on that deal. Peter Beagrie, do you think if Watford were still 9 points clear that Marlon King would be on his way?
No, I think it's a direct consequence of the poor form and the position that they are in the league, and it's going to be a huge void to fill. They'll be looking at Nathan Ellington, who they paid a lot of money for, to come in and step up to the plate and deliver, because without the goals of King and without the goals of Danny Shitu out with the African Cup of Nations, 7 goals from centre-half, there's a lot of goals there that need to find.
Talked about Watford's poor home form, haven't won at home since mid-October. Can you explain why?
I think it's the pressure. We went up there, and I was interested in reading the programme notes of various people at the club saying that the fans have got to stick by the club. At home, it's imperative that they utilise their support and they really give them the full backing, because we went down there and they were restless. They realise that they're suffering and they've got to galvanise and get together and cheer them on.
So Nathan Ellington gets a rare start. He comes in to partner Darius Henderson, £3.25 million. Is it time for the goals to come from him, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. And he has been playing second fiddle very much between the likes of Henderson, and Priskin has also been up there as a front runner with King. But no goals in 18 games this year. He might be rewarded with getting his match fitness. And this is the other end of the scale. Charlton, the strikers not really firing apart from Chris Uwalumo, and they're getting goals from all over the pitch. Zhenji, who's been a revelation, with 9 goals from the centre of midfield.
Let's check on tonight's teams then with Gary Birtles and Bill Leslie.
So for the first time in the league this season, Watford go into a match without their top scorer, Marlon King, available. It gives record signer Nathan Ellington a chance to find his feet with a run in the side. Still looking for his first goal for the club, though. At the back with Danny Shitu away with Nigeria in the Cup of Nations. New signing Callum Davenport on loan from West Ham United gets a debut. Charlton have stuck with the same starting lineup for the last 3 games, including the thumping win against Blackpool last weekend. Despite extra time against West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup midweek, just one change today. Chris Uwalumo comes in for his first start in 4 games to renew the partnership with Luke Varney. So just the one change for Charlton. Let's hear from their manager quickly before kick-off. He's with Greg Whelan.
Alan, your new signing Andy Gray starts on the bench today. Were you tempted to go with him from the start?
Well, to be honest, we didn't think we was going to get it done in time, so it's been a bonus, really, just to get him on the bench. We're looking forward to seeing him play. We've missed a link player since Todorov got injured, so he'll be a big player for us.
Watford have struggled here in the last few weeks. Do you think you've come in at the right time?
Well, I know one thing, they test your character always, and if our character's in the right place and we get the ball down and play, then we'll have a good chance.
Alan, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So a significant piece of business for Charlton and Alan Pardew as they look to push for promotion. They kick off in the top 6 here. And as you heard the Charlton manager say, he feels it's money well spent on Andy Gray, who proposed to kick off his career with his 10th different club. Plenty on the plate of Adrian Boothroyd. He's set to lose his top scorer, Marlon King, on the verge of joining Fulham. But he said everything is put into perspective by the events surrounding that young man. Al Bangura finally this week being given a work permit, a chance to stay in the country and back on the Watford team sheet for the first time since August. No wonder he's all smiles. Well, there's been precious little to smile about in terms of results here at Vicarage Road for Watford. Extraordinary, really, without a win here since October. Yet still, if they can end that run here, they can go to within a point of West Bromwich Albion at the top of the Championship table. Well, they'll kick off here for a second time in their lowest position since August. Out of the top three for the first time this season. Charlton below for the first time since it all kicked off. Their rivals from South London, Crystal Palace, who continued their wonderful form and move above them in the table. Fascinating match-up here, Gary.
Without a doubt, and both these teams know they've got a good chance of still being in the mix going into February. It's unbelievable, this division this season. One team you think is going to run away with it, then they get pegged back. Watford 9 points in front of 1 point. So everybody's up there. Stoke are creeping up, Palace are creeping up. Terrific.
Speaking of everyone being up there, that's exactly the case for Watford here as Jordan Stewart fires it in. Glanced just wide by Henderson. What a start that would have been.
All about the delivery, isn't it? We know what a good left foot he's got. He proves it here. Terrific ball in, attacked well by Henderson. Had that hit the target. I think the keeper could have been struggling. Slightly off balance, just squirts past the post. That's where he's dangerous. Attacking the ball, just got half a yard in his marker there.
Jay Demerit, wasn't it, the captain, who just snuck in there ahead of Darius Henderson. All about confidence at home for Watford. Now Varney, finally starting to find his feet since his summer move from Crewe and looking lively. Handed away by the debut boy wearing number 5, Callum Davenport. Zheng Zi for Charlton, 3 goals in his last 3 games. Here's Kelly Yuga, Varney. Away by Demerit, who since the departure of Gavin Manta, Queen's Park Rangers, has taken on the role here at Vicarage Road of Captain America. That's what they call him in the programme. Well worked in by Varney. Davenport uses his height to get it away. Zheng Zi. Francis can't win it back, and Yassine Moutuakil, the young French fullback, fires it well wide.
Both teams showing early intent there. Varney involved very early on. He looks to be thriving and switching from Crewe to here to Charlton. Just sometimes wonder whether they step up is too much, but certainly on the early stages of this, he looks comfortable at this level.
Down they came together last summer from the Premier League. They hope to go up together and manoeuvre themselves into position. As Adrian Boothroyd says in his programme notes today, we got some big games in January, bigger in February. They get even bigger in March and April. Still 57 points to play for. Although they've had this wretched run, particularly at home, you do still feel that they have the resources, even without Marlon King, to go up automatically, to bounce back.
That's going to be a big thing for them, how they get on without Marlon King. When he was injured, they struggled in the Premiership. See how they go on here without him.
Here's Tommy Smith. Able to get his cross away over Henderson. McAnuff keeps it alive, and over by Damien Francis. Watford are carving out the chances.
Oh, this is a great chance. You've got to get it underneath the bar here. Smith puts a lovely delivery in. Not closed down. Comes the far post, decent header back. And look, he poaches there. Just try and hit the target. Smith does well, but he's not closed down enough there. He's allowed to get this ball in. It's a terrific header back across, and you see Francis coming in there. It's easier to get it under the bar and put it over. Lovely cushioned header back, leaning back. Just trying to get over it a little bit more than he did.
And plenty of talk of new arrivals in the last few days, the last few weeks, up and down the land, whatever club you follow. But he must have felt a little bit like a new signing here in the last 6 games or so. Damien Francis didn't feature at all in the early part of the season because of the knee ligament injury he picked up towards the end of last. Henderson. Here is Francis.
Well, when you're not playing particularly well at home, Watford aren't at the moment, and you have 2 reasonable chances in the first 10 minutes or so of the first half. The Demerit header just squeezed wide, and then the Francis chance. The longer those don't go in, the more your confidence takes a knock.
When you look at it in cold statistics, 2 points from a possible last 21 at home. Forget about promotion, that's more like relegation form in front of their home fans. Jordan Stewart. Just took a little touch off the Charlton player there, so Watford will get the throw in. Nothing between the two sides when they met last season, 2 draws in the Premier League. Watford went 2-0 up here against Charlton in the last meeting back in March. After 20 minutes, Francis got one of the goals, but Charlton fought back. Pardew's first visit here as Charlton manager. Get in each other's way there, Ambrose and Zengzi, and that's an invitation that Smith looks to take up. He was pulled back, and that, without doubt, will be a yellow card for Darren Ambrose.
Absolute certainty. Confusion between the two of them there. He lost out, and you could see straight away what he was going to do. Can't shake his head there. Confusion here, get in each other's way, and Smith's away. Pace takes him away, and there, just a touch. Smith just goes down there. First tug, then the second one. Couldn't stay on his feet. Quite right, he gets a yellow.
Well, he was one of the scorers in that 2-2 draw. I was just talking about. Darren Ambrose scored the equaliser for Charlton. He's landed his side in it a little bit here. They look dangerous from a free kick like this a little earlier on in the match. Not quite so this time. It's come to McAnuff. Looking over the top. Nice little idea brought down by Francis. The flag is up. 4 Watford players forward very quickly.
Nearly got it right, didn't he? Intelligence here from McAnuff. Just as a look up, they're a bit lazy coming out. And those two on offside. They were the 2 that were onside to start with. It was Henderson coming back that was a little bit lazy, a little bit unfortunate there, Watford.
Ambrose making a tightrope, of course, but trying to get in behind. Jay Demerit aware of the danger. Just a word as it's thundered away by Lee on the conditions here. Light drizzle at the moment over this particular part of Hertfordshire. The rain's been a lot heavier, but it's a very slick, pretty heavy pitch in places. A little bit unpredictable down there.
It is, and why do you see a goalkeeper trying to be clever on a condition like this? Just take no chances. Don't play against the pitch. Just get rid of it. Don't try and take a touch, because strikers will close you down.
Neither of these sides coming into this with particularly illuminating form. Watford 2 defeats in their last 3, just 3 wins in their last 12 games. It's a credit to the start they made to the season that they're still right up there on the coattails of the championship leaders. Everyone else letting them off by not pulling away, and it's an extraordinary division this season, isn't it?
It's
just
fantastic.
when sides seem to be getting in control, then they slip away, others come back at them.
That gives everybody else a chance. The people just below halfway, they still believe they've got a chance of making the playoffs. You look at Crystal Palace's run. Neil Warnock was there. They were magnificent.
Now right up in the playoff positions, of course, a point ahead of Charlton. Callum Davenport.
Watford have got a very talented group of players. You look at the wide players. You've got McAnuff on one side, Tommy Smith on the other. When you've got outlets like that, utilise them, and the 2 strikers should benefit.
You often hear it spoken about, don't you, confidence and making the difference, and you just sense that perhaps not so much in Watford's approach, but in the approach of the sides playing them. They now come here to Vicarage Road believing they can get something. We saw a while back Bristol City coming here fighting till the end of getting all 3 points.
Well, the referee's given the throw in the wrong way. Good honest challenge from 2 players. It came off a Watford player.
See plenty of those sort of challenges on an evening like this.
Just to love playing on surfaces like this.
Sam trying to scoot forward. Long leg of Davenport denied him. Now Tommy Smith. Look at Yuga slipping as he loses his footing. Watford looking to take advantage. Another good-looking ball in, away by Majid Bugera.
As I say, utilise your wide players. When you've got pace and ability in wide areas, as Watford have, get the ball to them. Done it with Smith so far, just got to get McAnuff involved as well.
Zengzi. Varney. And he's twisted things tactically this season. Alan Pardew to try and alter this run they've had of being consistently inconsistent. Spent several weeks playing 4-5-1. Now in the last 3 games 4-4-2. Those 2 cup ties against West Bromwich Albion, that although they ended up on the losing side on penalties midweek, they did take plenty of positives. Largely the better side, it was generally accepted over the 2 matches, and in between a thumping win against Blackpool at home. And they come here only 1 win in their last 3 games, full of confidence. Varney as well has started to find a place in the side regularly and find the back of the net too.
Yeah, and he'll be playing off Iwalumu. Great target man. Varney will get around him when he possibly can.
Bugara. With their fair share of injuries as well, Charlton. A measure of the squad that Alan Pardew's assembled. John Fortune and Sam Sodji out at the back. No Andy Reid, of course, the Republic of Ireland international, former Nottingham Forest player.
He was captain in the side, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's got a couple of weeks, talked to him before the game. He's hopefully be back by then. It'll be a big plus for Alan Pardew.
Here's Yuga, back from his lone spell at Scunthorpe. Lively operator down the left. Just kept alive. Jay Demerit got a little bit of help from the corner flag there.
Defending is not dead, as we saw there twice from Demerit. Fully committed. Love to see it.
Sam. Holland.
I just say a sarcastic word of thanks to Demerit and Henderson's barber for making them look exactly the same out there.
Buy one, get one free dye job by the look of things. Tommy Smith again able to get his cross away. Varney underneath it, under pressure from Demerit. Now Iwalumo should be fresh after not being in the starting lineup over the last 3 or 4 games. Henderson closes down. You look at the goals of Marlon King and they speak for themselves, but what you don't often see when you look at statistics rather, is the rest of the package you get, and he does more of his fair share of assists as well.
Yeah, his movement was excellent. He's grown since he came to Watford. And obviously Premiership teams have recognised that and they want him. It's a good chance now for Ellington, for Henderson to push on.
General consensus is that is what that man needs to do, Nathan Ellington. He's only started 5 games, so hasn't had a solid run in the side yet, but the record reads 18 appearances, this is 19th, no goals. No time like the present for him and Watford. In by Jordan Stewart. Lumo back there doing some defending. Tommy Smith here. Williamson behind him, and he's slid it through to Callum Davenport. Lumo uses his strength. He felt he'd done enough to get the throw in his way. It will be Watford's though.
Well, Tommy Smith has been instrumental in everything good that's happened for Watford so far in this match. Lovely ball through to Callum Davenport. Not the player you want in that area, centre half, when a creative player there. No disrespect to him.
A little hush around Vicarage Road as Lloyd Doyley prepares to launch this one. A waiting throng of Watford players. A little bit of treatment required for Chris Iwalumo. I think he might just have been caught with a flailing arm there. A little bit of treatment, so without one of the big men who helps out at the back. Here is Lloyd Doyley for Watford. Inviting ball in. Callum Davenport rose well, but he hitched a little lift on the way.
He certainly did. I don't think he needs to do that. A decent header of the ball. Again, it's worked down the right-hand side. There. Gets on the back. Zhengzi, and clearly a foul. Gets up really well, but you can't use your opponent to do that.
Good chance for him to kick-start his career. It's been a frustrating last few months due to injury. The last time he started a match, in fact, was also against Charlton for West Ham. One to forget, though. when they were walloped by 4 goals to 0 at the Valley earlier on this year. Running repairs, new shirt for Chris Iwelumo. No name, no number, thoroughly recognisable up front.
Just about to say exactly the same there.
Watford will have looked at the strengths and weaknesses of Charlton, and they'll reckon they have a chance here of ending this barren spell at home. They know that Charlton give you a chance. Conceded, Charlton, in their last 12 games. Therein lies the root of much of their recent inconsistency. Plenty of draws over Christmas, but not really enough to get them right up there with the pace setters at the top of the Coca-Cola Championship. Zhengzi. There's Darren Ambrose. Manoeuvre himself into a shooting position, did just that, and he'll get the corner after the block from Davenport.
It's a decent effort. They are doing well. They're nullifying Watford. I'm sure Alan Pardew, who said that before the game in his team talk, was try and stop them scoring in the first 15-20 minutes. They know they're not playing well at home. Get the supporters on the back and just break when we can.
Iwelumo, an obvious target in that. Centre backs up as well. It's spilled by Lee. Under pressure from his own man by the look of things predominantly, but he's got the free kick anyway.
He seemed to have that under control. It's a decent ball, whipped in with pace. It might be a bit unfortunate there. His own man was party to the collision. Well, there's an elbow there as well, to be fair. Viguera.
Keeping Mark Poom out of the side at the moment. Richard Lee enjoying his best run in the side for over a year, in fact. Had to play second fiddle for much of last season to Ben Foster, now back at Manchester United, although he is enduring injury problems this year. Interesting to see how these two sides approach this one. They both dearly love the win, but at the same time desperate not to lose. They'll have been well aware that there were slip-ups in and around them this afternoon. They'll be well aware that the likes of Stoke made ground as well. Here's Tommy Smith. Launched into the box, away by Bugera. The referee spots more shenanigans in there in the congested penalty area.
It's Davenport again. That's 2 on the trot. The referee's given against him. And there's the ball coming in. There goes Davenport's up there. I don't see where there was a foul there. That was a bit unlucky there.
Well, the Watford football family, and indeed the whole football family, has been wonderfully behind Al Bangura's fight to stay in this country after it was ordered he was going to be deported back to Sierra Leone. And needless to say, he's had a wonderful reception from the Watford supporters when his name was read out on the team sheet before the game. Even though he has been fighting for his right to stay, he has also been fighting against injury. So a comeback would be a relief on many levels for the young man, still only 20, of course. Bugera.
Very calm under pressure there, Bugera.
Bugera. Lloyd Sand couldn't control. Different sort of a test this season for Adrian Boothroyd. He harks back to the success that they had when they were promoted 2 seasons ago. And, coming with a late run to get involved in the playoffs, ultimately successful, of course, with that win in Cardiff against Leeds. Just urging his supporters today, you sense, to stick with him. A lot of discontent, understandably, at the news that Marlon King was to be on his way. He said, and indeed the club as well, saying in the programme today they had no choice. Marlon King's mind was made up that he no longer wanted to wear the Watford shirt. When that happens, it can become very difficult to hold on to a player.
Certainly can, and your teammates pick up on it as well, and you don't want unrest in the dressing room. The confrontation here. There's the header from Henderson. Guerra not happy. Guerra comes across, he's not happy, he's pushing Henderson all over the place. The referee just telling them to calm it down.
Andre Mariner, the referee, trying to keep a lid on things. The French under-21 Yacine Moutou-Akil also heavily involved in this. Henderson is riled, you can clearly see that. Just a little edge come into the game in the last couple of minutes.
I thought there was always going to be. On a surface like this, the tackles are flying in. Two physical sides. Still having a little chat there.
Another chance for Jordan Stewart to use this useful left foot of his. Hung up towards Henderson. Away by Yuga. Tommy Smith. Callum Davenport.
The problem for Charlton at the moment, they're a bit narrower than Watford. Watford with the two wide outlets, it's always good for the man on the ball to have that option. Charlton are a bit more congested in the centre of the park.
Davenport. You've got to get there ahead of Lloyd Sam, who'd come roaming in from the right. Position taken up here by Jordan Stewart. Going to get beyond Moutou-Akil. Sam. Moutou-Akil. Barney and Iwalumo manoeuvre into position. Cross too close to Lee.
He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to skid it in there towards the near post. One of the strikers attacked it.
Tommy Smith. Lloyd Doyley matching his run to the right. Terrific challenge, Matt Holland. Trademark Matt Holland, wasn't it?
Tracked him perfectly, didn't he? Just waited for the right moment.
Skidding ball through. Made it look nonchalant in the end, Moutou-Akil.
Well, the exhale there didn't really tell the full story, did it? Does really well. Could have hit his arm. Didn't. Puffs his cheeks. Gets away with it.
Just that extra little bit of height advantage seems to be helping Callum Davenport contain the Iwalumo threat. Joby McAnuff scoots away from Zhengzi. Finds Tommy Smith. Smith to take on Yuga, and he's forced behind. Good defensive work in the end by Kelly Yuga.
Yeah, he got closer to him this time. But again, he's McAnuff. He stopped one flank, the other explodes, and here he comes right across the park. Plays a lovely little ball to Smith, and give Yuga credit. Expected Tommy Smith to go down the outside. Was strong, stuck to his task, and forced a mistake from Smith. He's getting a lot of the ball in this first half so far, and McAnuff's starting to get in.
Let's remind you about Super Sunday tomorrow. First match of two, Wigan against Everton from 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And then Manchester City take on West Ham again tomorrow, 3:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Just like Watford, Charlton have been more effective on the road than at home. Close distance between the margins, though. 22 points away, 21 at home. They've lost fewer games away, just 3 defeats on the road. Interesting when you look at the pattern of the defeats they've had away. Outplayed largely at West Bromwich Albion. That was their last away defeat. Alan Pardew admit that they'd been bullied at Molineux. We saw them earlier on this season as well at Stoke City, and they came up against a very physical side that they couldn't quite stand up to. It's a big test for them. How far have they come? Just past the halfway point of the season against another one of the real physical operators in the Championship.
Coped reasonably well this first half.
Moutou-Akil glides forward. McAnuff gives chase. Now Lloyd Sam. Promising situation this for Charlton, but the deflection took the sting out of it.
Moutou-Akil did really well there. Anybody else but McAnuff tracking him back. I think he'd have been away.
Jordan Stewart, one of 3 players in this Watford side who've started every game. McAnuff has come into the side recently. Was the record signing in the summer before they splashed out the rest on Nathan Ellington, who moves forward. Yuga got the shout, was able to leave it to go behind.
It was a confident move from Yuga there. Obviously knew what was around him. Ellington does well to keep it in. There's nothing wrong with the ball, it's put into a decent area, but nobody's attacking it. Tommy Smith, I think, could have come in at the far post there.
20 games and counting without a goal for Nathan Ellington. Last time he scored in the league was West Bromwich Albion's demolition of Barnsley on the final day last season. Must seem a long, long time ago to him.
Strikers need runs in teams. They can't be expected just to come on now and again and prove to be match winners all the time.
Good pressure by Iwelumo.
It's always going to be a pressure situation when you're playing against Iwelumo. Big, strong, direct, muscles him out of it here. Again, just goes for too much pace. Both feet off the floor there. No hope of keeping it under the bar.
Looking for the goal that would take him into double figures for the season. He's joint top scorer Chris Iwelumo with Zheng Ji. The Chinese midfielder, very much the man in form. He hasn't scored Chris Iwelumo in his last 7 appearances. Doyley. Ellington looking to get away from Bugera. Back comes McCarthy. Just rolled across the goal mouth invitingly, and he just got there in time, Nicky Weaver.
It was a scramble as well, wasn't it? Ellington, it comes out the sky there. He's strong there. I don't know what he's trying to do, but it works. And then Weaver struggles to get the ball away from the pouncing Watford strikers.
Sam cleverly through to Varney. Holland there as well. And it fell slightly, fortunately, for Watford player to clear in Callum Davenport. Now McAnuff. Williamson towed away by Yassin Mutuakil. Ebb and flowing this game. It has a comparatively quiet spell and then threatens to explode into life.
Talking about Chris Iwelumo, he thrives on stuff into the box from wide areas, and I think that's half the problem for him. When the striker's not getting that service from wide, he's going to struggle to get the number of goals you'd expect from him.
By Paddy McCarthy, the former Leicester City man. Demerit. Looking for Smith, who got the touch ahead of Yuga. Yuga should have the beating of him for pace. Just rolls it out of play.
Not prepared to take any chances on this surface. Can't blame him for that.
A travelling band of Charlton fans behind the goal their side defended this first half. Iwelumo back there, didn't get the touch. Goal with by Francis.
And you saw how dangerous Callum Davenport could be. That long throw in the box did get the flick on and nearly capitalised on by Francis.
Five defeat in Watford's last 7 games at home. It's a record which must be just ticking over at the back of the players' minds. Oh, they dearly love to stop it in this, which is their first game at home in the league of this new calendar year, 2008. New year, will it bring new fortune for them? Here's Doyley. Bugera. Back where it came from. Tommy Smith. Here he comes, Tommy Smith. Chipped back in, but chipped wide.
Tommy Smith proving what a good player he can be when he gets the ball at his feet. Looked to be double marked here, looked too close to him. All of a sudden, change of pace in between the two, cuts inside. There's a block on, but the ball in the end, not a very good one. The return ball in, but Smith is causing Charlton some real problems in this first half.
A clever little header on. Interesting to listen to what Luke Varney had to say in the week. Saw an interview with him talking about the differences he has of playing with Eisel McLeod, which is what he has been doing for the last few games of playing with Chris Iwelumo. Iwelumo very much much more a target man. Says he needs to be in tune with the knockdowns from the big man, which is what he looks to do here as he manoeuvres his way forward. Mutu a kill with the cross. Iwelumo!
Well, it's a decent delivery. It's Varney coming in behind him. It's a good run again by Mutu a kill. Puts it in first time. And look, goes for the glory, but it's Varney just behind him. Might have been better giving him a big shout. Just coming in behind. I think would have been better placed to have a go. Can't blame Iwelumo. You can see it coming in at that angle. Unless you get a mighty shout, you've got to go for it. Pretty close so far on attempts. Away side just edging it, but unfortunately nothing on target yet. A lot of endeavour, a lot of honesty out there at the moment.
Well, it should be a game where you get goals this one when you look at the record going into it, and we might just hear. What's a chance that was for Lloyd Sam?
Well, wasn't it just? You just think something's going to happen. It's a long ball from the goalkeeper. Route one just bounces over. He's in a flash. And again, you have to say, he's got to hit the target. Slightly leaning backwards, slips a bit, and he knows he should have hit the target. Work the goalkeeper. I think sometimes they try and do too much with it when they're in front of goal. So they're just concentrating on hitting the target, working the keeper. Always said, if the goalkeeper saves it, fine. At least you've made him work. But again, keeper's not had to do anything.
Tommy Smith looking to try and work his opposite number here. Touched behind by Paddy McCarthy.
Well, Henderson made a good run at the near post. McAnuff thought he should have had the ball at the far post. Head in hands, he just had a word with Tommy Smith, but he tried to do the right thing. He tried to slide it across the face of the goal. Just over half an hour. I just can't believe that it hasn't been a goal. A lot of goal-mouth action at both ends.
And it goes by Jordan Stewart. Holland defended that well, stood his ground. It's going to be another corner, more work to do for Charlton.
This is what they've got to do, Charlton. They have to defend these set pieces really well. You lose concentration in the box, you get picked off. And the quality this man puts in with his left foot will always cause you a problem. Always gives your teammate a chance to attack.
Iwelumo made the run, attacked it the hungriest that time, away by Lloyd Sam. Opportunity for Charlton to break here. Yasin Mutu a kill, stretches his legs. He's got Sam if he can find him.
Mutu a kills look quite lively going forward so far. His delivery's been pretty good that time. I don't think anybody could keep up with him.
Frenchman with the throw. Henderson. On the right wavelength to find McAnuff. Back comes Mutu a kill. He's up and down this touchline with real vigour. Too much though. He's going to find his way into the book here.
Similar to one on the other side when Tommy Smith got fouled. Struggling to get back with the pace of McAnuff. Gets involved with him at the back of his legs. Referee very close to it. And it's nothing but a yellow card. The referee has to give that.
Might have had a look with what was in front of him and felt it was a yellow card worth taking this sort of distance. Stewart has given it straight to Ambrose. Charlton player who picked up that yellow Gary was talking about on the other side. Here's Varney. Yuga.
Okay, it's all a little bit centralised for Charlton. It's difficult to pick out a target when it's as narrow as that. Mutu a kill has given them a different dimension down the right-hand side. You see Sam, he's very tight in the midfield area. Ambrose is not really hugger of the line on the other side.
Given the chance, Yuga is on the ball here, wants to get forward as well, but he's had his hands full with Tommy Smith, who's It's been Watford's liveliest performer in the match so far. And challenged by Davenport. Here comes the next wave for Charlton. It's Varney. Ambrose. Chance to pick his cross towards Iwelumo.
Well, that's a poor header from him. That's just the sort of service he's after. It's a good ball in. Varney works it well. And this is precisely what he wanted. Just head it back across the face of the goal. I don't know what he's done. It just come off the top of his head. In a good position. Just put it beyond the goalkeeper and give Sam a chance in the middle.
10 minutes left on a first half in which both sides, local rivals here in the southeast of England, have had their moments. Charlton with the better of it in recent meetings between the two. Just one Watford win in the last 11 times they've met. Sam. Clever ball again to release Holland's run from midfield. He's put it in the area. It's inviting. It should have been 1-0. How did Ambrose miss that?
Wonderful delivery by Matt Holland. It's well worked. Sam does ever so well. He looks up, puts in a lovely area, and you think he's just going to cushion it in there. No real conviction in that at all. Lovely ball. Right across the face. Just hit the target, you think. It's nowhere near the target. That is so disappointing again. Wonderfully crafted opening there by Charlton. All started in their own half. Sam did really well on the ball. Fed Holland, and he knows what a massive chance that is for him to put his team in front.
Darren Ambrose, the man who scored the very first goal of the Alan Pardew reign, should have scored the most recent one. Did score in the FA Cup defeat ultimately on Wednesday night against West Bromwich Albion.
I'll tell you what, Bill, we always harp on about hit the target, and it's such a basic thing to say, but it's so important that you do it. It's one of the most important things when you're playing the game. When you get a chance like that, just hit the top, make the keeper make a save, and that was the best chance they had to do that in this first half. And you know, the position he was in and how close he was to put it wide from there, it's a big miss.
3 really good chances, 2 of them coming Charlton's way. You think of Damien Francis's for Watford when he blazed over a pretty similar position to Lloyd Sam, and they get another one here, the home side. McAnuff forced a little wide.
It's a poor ball from Ellington.
Davenport. Henderson. Varney against the odds, has it back. Doyley thought about using his hand there. He did. Lucky to escape a yellow card.
I don't think Watford thought that was a foul. We thought Varney had flicked it over here. Oh, there's a handball. It was a block on him, but good decision again by the referee, who's done well this first half.
Just had that little flash point to deal with a little earlier on. Mutuakil and Henderson involved. Iwelumo, good strength from him. Ambrose, twisting, turning, trying to set his sights. This time he does hit the target.
Yeah, so you can ask. I thought he might have taken it a little bit earlier. And it comes down, eventually gets a little bit of space. Slightly off balance when he hits it, that's why he can't generate more power. But at least the goalkeeper's had to go down and get his knees dirty.
Francis, on by Ellington. It's a race between McAnuff and the goalkeeper Weaver. The big man prevailed.
So goalkeepers have got to be now, they've got to be sweepers, they've got to be concentrating 100% to come out and do that, to get the defence out of trouble.
Davenport and Iwelumo, it's a good battle to watch that one.
It is as well, very dominant in the air, but Davenport very good on the floor as well. Can pass it when he has to.
A lot of clubs in a short space of time over recent seasons, Callum Davenport. Will it be that he finds his home here in Hertfordshire, just on a loan initially from West Ham United? Here he is, stealing in ahead of Iwelumo. Holland. Touched by Francis and the Charlton captain. And looked for his former Ipswich teammate Ambrose, but just a little heavy.
Party will be reasonably happy with the way his team have coped with the pressure that Watford have put upon them. The only thing he'd be disappointed with is the fact that he probably sees his team should have been in front in this first half with the chances they've created, the openings they've had. He's having a little bit of a fallout. The fourth official.
Last 5 minutes of the first half. Still the deadlock to be broken at Vicarage Road. Holland. Gordon Stewart. That's what the distance he'd have liked on the header. McKenna. Nathan Ellington. Jordan Stewart. Stewart's cross. Henderson went near post.
He's the only yellow shirt in the box. Have to do more a yellow shirt to get in the box and help out.
There are a few more there now as Williamson finds McAnuff. Smith. Lee Williamson. Doyley. And Watford raise it for the end of this first half. Certainly that's what they look to do through Jordan Stewart. Nathan Ellington. Francis blocked down by McCarthy. Now Ambrose. Iwelumo. Charlton looked for him to hold it up. He couldn't, and in trying to do so has given away a free kick.
There's the collision there. It's an accidental one. Both get caught.
Angled on by Demerit. Williamson. Tommy Smith. Davenport in there. He felt he was pulled back. And a real tussle of limbs inside the penalty area there. Well, they were appealing initially, Watford, for a nudge in there on Callum Davenport as he rose to try and get on the end of the header.
Might have actually been his own man who came into the back of him there, Henderson. Another tangle of bodies. As the ball put in its attack really well. There's Henderson. Davenport's in there first, a decent downward header, and then there we see there's a sandwich. There's a little nudge in the back. He's pulled back. There's half a shout for a penalty, and then his own man comes through him, and then there's another body lands on him, and he's all over the place.
Well, right at the start of that whole melee, you just wonder whether there might have been a slight nudge, maybe a little tug on the shirt that he was looking for initially, but subsequently he took a right buffeting there, Callum Davenport, and let's hope that this is not as serious as it's starting to look.
I'm not so sure the little theatrical bit at the end, the fall over of the Charlton player, was accidental.
Well, initially he was sandwiched as a lot of players jumped up there and then just seemed to fall awkwardly, and like you said, Gary, it was his own man Darius Henderson and his eagerness to get to the ball that might well have caused an added awkwardness to the fall. No precautions taken. I obviously feel it's a neck/back injury.
Well, there were 4 players involved in a very small area there.
Well, a legacy of bad luck with injuries for Callum Davenport over the last 6 months or so. His first start in the best part of 10 months, and is this the incident which will lead to the end of it? Let's have another look here, Gary.
I'll see the ball come in. Henderson does well. He falls on his teammate, and then here we go. Look at that. That is on purpose. That is not accidental. Thought it when I saw it. Great view there. That's on purpose for me. I'm sorry.
Majid Bouguera. Well, he has got away with it in the eyes of the referee. A hard one for Andre Mariner to spot.
Well, for me, trying to make it look accidental, but bodies everywhere, and I think he took an opportunity to do a piece of nasty work there. Here we see Davenport, he's pulled back there. Henderson lands on him, and Bagheera comes, and look at this now. Doesn't need to do that. Stamps straight in the middle of his ribs, and then tries to make it look accidental. Sorry, not buying it, son.
He'll know, though, won't he, Majid Bagheera, exactly what he meant to do there. And the more that the seconds stick on, the more concern there is for Callum Davenport here on his Watford debut. Let's put it into perspective, though, Gary, that although it looked unpleasant from Majid Bagheera, I don't think that's the cause of the reason there is such a long injury delay here for Callum Davenport. I think it was when Darius Henderson actually landed on him awkwardly. Completely
Maybe
accidental.
But when somebody follows up and stamps right in the middle of your midriff, doesn't help, does it?
Correct.
To be fair.
And it does unfortunately look like Callum Davenport will not be able to play any further part in this match. That's Adrian Mariappa, the only really defensive option that Adrian Boothroyd has available to him at the moment. Danny Shitu is away on African Cup of Nations duty, the regular central defensive partner of Jay Demerit. And a real shame, because he'd impressed Callum Davenport in this first half.
He had a great battle with Iwalumo, and I think now Alan Pardew will be saying to him, right, you've got a chance here now. Davenport's gone off. He was having a good battle with you. You should be winning a fair share now. That's no disrespect to Demerit and the man who's coming on, but Davenport was giving as good as he was getting from Iwalumo.
Well, best wishes to Callum Davenport as he makes his way on. Let's hope the injury's not too serious. We'll update you, of course, as and when we get any news on it. Meantime, Adrian Mariappa comes on, and a little bit of a reshuffle. Lloyd Doyley, who during the early part of his career has played at centre-half. In fact, he lists it as his favourite position. Doesn't often get to play there these days, but he will do for the rest of this first half, and indeed for the second. Mariappa, who's more of a full-back, looks like filling in at right-back.
Yeah, I'm sure Charlton will try and play on that. Demerit's gone straight away and picked Iwalumo up, which you'd expect. But I'm sure they'll try and exploit Doyley.
As you can see, we're playing over just 2 of the 4 that was allotted. The referee, Andre Mariner, may well decide to put a few more on. Here's McAnuff. Ellington. Stewart. Williamson. Demerit. Ambrose looking for Varney. Support from Yuga. A little biting challenge from Lloyd Doyley, the referee. Looks like he's given the free kick here for that.
Yeah, there's a kick from behind, you just can't do that anymore.
Well, a chance to work the defence, but the defence not worked.
It's disappointing from a set piece like that. You just want to keep it away from the goalkeeper, take him out of the equation.
Mutu Akil. Sam. Varney looking to put Adrian Mariappa through his paces early on.
Been impressed with Varney's movement. Very lively, gets in a good area. Just haven't been able to exploit it yet.
Here he is on the ball now, Luke Varney, just getting ready to shoot. Clever anticipation by Francis. Yuga's forward here for Charlton. Real opportunity to grab one at the death here at the first half. Mutu Akil. And now Smith. Henderson. Slide Charlton along the edge of the box there, hoping that one of his teammates was arriving. As it was, there was a line of red to repel Watford. Lloyd Sam. Luke Varney. Ambrose, Shengzi and Iwalumo manoeuvre into position in the middle. Varney's cross. Well defended, Jay Demerit.
Terrific defending. The real pressure there.
Outnumbered, weren't they, the Watford defenders, by the Charlton attackers. And in the absence of the more aerially dominant figure of Callum Davenport, Demerit's responsibilities grow. Smith, can McAnuff make up the ground?
That's a good opportunity there just before the end. The quality been a little bit better. McAnuff had got a good chance of getting in.
Sam. Mutawakil. Well attacked by Holland. Chipped down, Ambrose.
Well, again, he hasn't done what he should do. Right in the middle of the goals, lovely header back down. Look at him, no conviction at all. Just sticks out a leg, look, doesn't get over the top of it. Slices it poorly wide.
And an eventful first half comes to an end. No goals, but plenty of chances, the best of which have fallen to Darren Ambrose. A gaping goal midway through this first half. He couldn't finish it off, so we're going at half-time. The scoreline reading, Watford 0, Charlton 0.
And we'll get the thoughts of Peter Beagrie when we come back. Two teams fighting it out for promotion, but at the moment, not too many signs of Premier League quality in that final third. Watford probably with most possession. Charlton looking the more likely, goalless at the break. Road, it's 4th against 6th. Watford against Charlton, goalless at half-time. Peter Beagrie, have Watford shown signs of nervousness, you think, for a team that, understandably, I guess, haven't won at home in 7?
Yeah, I mean, they started quite well and had an early chance and that, but we've seen Charlton grow in confidence and trying to feed off the negativity at Vicarage Road in the poor home form. And they have really pushed a lot of bodies forward. But there was an early chance from a Jordan Stewart free kick. And we see Ian J. Demerit, I think, beats Paddy McCarthy to the ball. He anticipated better, gets across his man and tries to divert it down, which is the right thing to do, where it just goes past the post.
Back to basics that for Watford, isn't it? Set pieces?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the strengths, in all honesty. And Demerit's looking to fill the shoes and the goals left by Danny Shittu's absence.
Charlton have only failed to score once on their travels this season. Do they look content to soak up a little bit of pressure and strike on the break?
Yeah, and I think they'll go in confidence as this game goes on. We see they're intent on dealing with Iwalumo, missed the ball. Varney with a clever little touch, and there's Sam driving into the box, and he's got to keep that down, although the pitch is not the best, and he was at full stretch in his defence.
We've seen the wide players trying to get in and around the strikers. Lloyd Sam we've seen there, and also Darren Ambrose, a couple of good opportunities for him.
Yeah, I mean, this was a good build-up here because Holland running from midfield off the back of the centre-forward there, and he's tried to get a strong ankle to it and hit it across, but again, the pitch is not the best. It's bobbling up, and if we have a look there, if he'd have played it across to Iwalumo, he would have been offside.
Do they look, though, that they've got goals in their side?
Yeah, they definitely has. They've got goal from the midfield areas. The two wide men and Genji, we said, in particular. And as the pressing forward, Mutakil's joining. Kelly Yuga from the left-hand side, the full-back, got into the box. His cross was cleared now as Mutakil 10 yards from the edge of the box, showing their ambition to go forward and, as I said, feed off the negativity surrounding Watford's home form.
Spare a thought for Callum Davenport, his first game since signing from West Ham, his first game since March last year, and then this happens, Peter.
Yeah, you've got the feel for him. He's already on his way down there because he's felt contact from Iwalumo, and then Henderson actually comes down and sits on him, and I think that's where the neck injury comes from. Well, then we take it on a bit, and Bugera here is very lucky to stay on the pitch because it's all about how much pressure and weight that he imparts on Davenport as he's on his way down. And he could have easily avoided that contact.
Is that deliberate in your mind, then?
It's deliberate in my mind. If we have a look here, he could fall backwards He could also step out the way. If it's only a pace out the way, he makes sure that his foot directly comes down with pressure right into the chest of Davenport. So, and to add insult literally to injury, he had to be replaced.
Yeah, it looked like a salt in the wound, didn't it? It looked like the main damage had already been done there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a cross between the push in the back, a little bit of whiplash injury, and then on the way down as he's there and he's left wide open to contact, it was his own man, Henderson, that actually sits on his neck.
So, goalless at half-time. Charlton have Andy Gray, new signing, waiting in the wings. No Marlon King for Watford. Where will the goals come from? Second half is coming up live next.
Saturday Night Football.
A Super Sunday doubleheader tomorrow, starting with Wigan-Everton from 1 on Sky Sports 1 and HD1, followed by Manchester City-West Ham, 3:30 Sky Sports 1 and HD1. We're at Vicarage Road. It's 4th against 6th. Watford and Charlton, the two relegated sides from last season. 2 draws when they met in the Premier League last season, and they're locked together again at half-time here. Teams making their way out. Peter Beasley, what more can we expect in the second half?
Well, I think, you know, obviously Ellington's got to give, you know, his strike partner a bit more help. We've seen crosses go in the box and sometimes he's be the only one in there, so he needs to get in the box and alongside Francis as well. It might be too long, but we see the introduction of young John Joe O'Toole, who can get a goal and bombs forward from the centre of midfield.
We're ready to go. Let's get back to Gary Birtles and Bill Leslie.
Well, we should have goals here for you in the second half. Watford, they've scored in all but 4 of their league games this season. Charlton in all but 3. There hasn't been a goalless draw between these sides on this ground for 83 years. Nothing like tempting fate. No further changes to tell you about to either side at half-time. Just that one enforced to Callum Davenport with the neck injury. Precautions taken with that, saw him stretch it off, and on came Adrian Mariappa. A slightly reorganised Watford defence, though. And in terms of the new blood on the Charlton bench, for the moment anyway, Alan Pardew keeps his powder dry. Andy Gray still sitting down there.
I'm sure we'll see him at some stage, but no need yet.
Majid Bugera looking forward. Away by Williamson. Here's Matt Holland. Sam's control just got away from him. Still alive here though for Charlton. Well, examination defensively of Jordan Stewart. Eventually the cross comes in, left by Varney. He was in there, couldn't take advantage. Everyone finding it tricky back there, and I think Jordan Stewart, because he was just hauled to the ground a little bit.
Just caught there by Sam, but he was being mesmerised by him a couple of seconds earlier. He comes out now and he just goes to clear his lines. I don't think there's a touch there. I think he's just been embarrassed by the fresh air shot.
The drizzle that we've had incessantly throughout this match is just starting to get a little bit harder. The pitch wonderfully unpredictable for a game of football, which is massively important at the top of the Coca-Cola Championship. A reminder that Watford could go to within a point of the leaders. Charlton could go up a place, but significantly above their local rivals, Crystal Palace. And Watford, as you can see, and Adrian Mariappa really felt they should have had a corner there.
Not happy at all, is he? A bit of trickery there. Difficult one to judge on that sighting.
Varney, can he get away here? Doyley trying to make up the ground, and he will settle for giving away a corner.
Some sloppy defending so far in this first few minutes of the second half.
Last corner for Charlton for this second period. McCarthy and Bugera, the two centre-halves, have both been among the goals recently for Charlton. In by Ambrose, Leeds come a long way, wasn't going to get anywhere near that.
The goalkeeper nowhere near it.
And Watford with more concerns defensively with injuries.
There comes the keeper, misses it totally and just gets lucky. Here he comes. Nowhere near it. Another clash of heads at the far post. Lee nowhere near it. It's an honest challenge. Both go for the ball.
Adrian Boothroyd concerned over that clash of heads. Adrian Mariappa, who came on as a substitute for the injured Callum Davenport. And we can get an update for you now from Greg Whelan down in the dressing room area about the latest on that injury.
Thanks very much, Bill. The first thing to say is that generally he's feeling okay in himself. I'm told that when he landed, he heard a crack in his head, in his neck, which obviously was some concern to him. He's been assessed by the Watford club doctor, Richard Wheeler. He's now on his way to Watford General Hospital, which incidentally is just around the corner from here, for further tests. Back to you, Bill.
Thanks very much, Greg. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that it is going to be too serious for Callum Davenport, which is great news. A little tuck to the shirt of Chris Iwelumo, who does have a number on his back now after having to change shirts in the first half. McCarthy. He'll get a little knock to the back of the head there as he stooped to get it away from Darius Henderson. Ellington knocking horns with McCarthy. Corner kick here for Watford.
Well, there's the ironic cheers. This time the assistant gives the corner.
Well, they had a chance from a set piece very early on in the first half. Watford. Demerit heading just wide from a Jordan Stewart delivery. That was from a free kick. Now they have a corner. Can they work their combinations and work this Charlton defence? Back for Tommy Smith, who helps it on straight into the path of Hugo, though. Doyley, last man back for Watford. And massively disappointing, you have to feel, from a Watford point of view.
It's a well-worked corner. Had the ball from Smith been a better one. Trying a little bit of pressure.
He seemed to get bogged down the longer that move went off. Here's Smith looking to make amends. It's found Nathan Ellington. Williamson. Now Stewart. Movement from Damian Francis. And they've tried a few different permutations in terms of team selection and his motivational techniques. Adrian Boothroyd to lay this home hoodoo to rest. Nearly 3 complete calendar months without a win now at Vicarage Road.
It's so difficult to get out of that rut once you're in it.
It's interesting when you look back at the season that Watford have had, you can pinpoint it back to the defeat here against West Bromwich Albion. They were absolutely flying. That's when they had that 9-point lead at the top of the table. A win against one of their promotion rivals would have taken them 12 clear, but they were beaten fair and square, 3-0, played off the park by West Bromwich Albion. Since then, they have really stuttered. Same group of players, same managerial techniques, but the results, 10 wins in their first 13 games, have not been replicated since.
And again, it's Tommy Smith with a bit of trickery here. Checks inside. Yuga can't live with him.
Williamson to the feet of Ellington. And Zhengzhi. And they've got to steal it away. Purposeful burst by the Chinese international. Ambrose. 1 or 2 Charlton players booked in the first half. Return from Sam. This is well worked. It's Varney. Iwelumo had gone near post and the cross drifted behind anyway, but the build-up as good as we've seen from Charlton.
Yeah, Ambrose involved here. See a lovely little ball. 1-2 there, and this pass threaded through. Lovely. I don't think he needed the touch there, Varney. Just takes it away from him. Just can't wrap his leg around it to put it back in the box. That's where he's good. Darren Ambrose, when he's got the ball at his feet. And that man's movement's been, I think, particularly good in this game.
Well, he's admitted that he's taken time to settle since his move from Crewe. Used to a different sort of pace of life in the capital. But now, as his manager said, he's got his feet under the table. They've got men over here, Watford. McAnuff. He's turned back into traffic, but he's got his shot away.
Well, they look to be really strong in possession here. Lovely ball by Smith. Look, 2-on-1 there at the far post. McAnuff chooses to come back inside. I think he's going to get his shot away, just off balance, and sliced again right off the outside of his boot. First touch good, steadies himself, and then he's off balance at the end, and boy, it's gone where it has.
Ambrose, Holland. I think for Iwalumo, Jordan Stewart's header. Ellington. He's got in there ahead of Paddy McCarthy. Bugara, you feel, might just face censure from the powers that be when they have another look at that incident which involved the injury to Callum Davenport. Here's Varney, good cut back for Darren Ambrose. Great Charlton move, and a terrific Watford save from Richard Lee.
Terrific save low down. This is a lot better from Ambrose. Hugo does ever so well. Plays it wide. Oh, he picks a pass out there. Steadies himself really well. Spots the gap at the far post. But that's really good goalkeeping. Thought he was going to square it there to Zengzi, but decent attempt.
Little deflection onto the path of Sam, who hit the target, but it was very hard to really test the goalkeeper from that.
Yeah, with a header, generate a lot of pace from that distance. How is this still 0-0, by the way? Both ends are just flying from one end to the other. It's so entertaining. Well, the nets have been rippled yet, unfortunately. Oh, look at that for attempts. 11 for the away side, 5 for the home. But there we go, only 4 on target out the whole lot. We're getting there.
Only 3 years after they'd moved here, back in the 1920s, the last time there was a goalless draw between these two sides here. Here's Zengzi, leaves it to Sam! And that whistle just wide.
Well, they seem to be trying to take it off each other then, didn't they, Sam and Zengzi? Thought he was going to hit it there, checks inside, Sam takes it off him. It's a decent strike, just drags it beyond that far post. Struggling to get across there, Lee. Okay, they're just starting to get on top a little bit, Charlton.
They are getting closer. Sure, at half-time he'll have asked for a little more hunger in front of goal. They've had it in the last couple of games. They've scored 6 in the cup tie away at West Bromwich Albion, and that excellent win at home to Blackpool, which Alan Pardew is hoping is the real springboard for them to push on over this vitally important month that they have ahead. Charlton with games against 3 top 6 sides in their next 3 home games, and away at sides fighting for survival.
I think we've certainly seen enough from Charlton to suggest that they can go all the way to the end of the season and be really involved in the shake-up.
Iwalumo used his strength to hold off Demerit. Andy Gray only arrived at the club last night. Barely a chance to get to know his new teammates' names, let alone anything else about patterns of play. You sense the way Alan Pardew was talking, feels he's massively important in what they're trying to do in the next part of the season. The difference between being also-rans and automatic contenders, he feels. It's away by Doyley.
I was talking to Andy Reid about Andy Gray. Obviously those two were at Nottingham Forest together, so it's good to have somebody you know when you come to a new club.
It might not be too much longer before he makes his debut for his new employers. Technically, we hear he is on emergency loan, but the whispers are that there's a £1.5 million move to be rubber stamped just round the corner.
He's got a great attitude as well. Well brought up by his father.
Coletti might have had a bit to say as well. Varney. Good spell this for Charlton. Could turn into a great spell, but Jay Demerit away.
It's a lovely ball in by Varney again. I just don't think there's enough commitment to attack it.
McAnuff showing plenty of attacking commitment here and finding Ellington. Bugara's challenge halted the Watford tide.
It's a good challenge, but the ball from McAnuff just wasn't quite good enough. Should have been. Boothroyd not happy. They're not happy with him. I think they might have seen what we saw in that incident in the first half, the Watford fans. That's a very high line. Very high line. Always a bit wary when you defend that high up the pitch. Look how high they are. It's a yard inside their own half. Get that wrong, and it's very easy to, and Varney's clear. And he knows it. Knowing little look there, he said, right, next time.
Anderson did well to hold off the challenge of Hugo. Returns here, Nathan Ellington! The long wait is over for Nathan Ellington. A first goal in the Watford colours and the home side lead.
And people will say, well, it's an easy goal, it's a tap-in. But when you're in this position, when you've seen so many chances go begging, Henderson does really well here, comes through to him, and he just cushions it in. He doesn't try and blast it. Strength there from Henderson. Look, just gets his body over the top of it, doesn't try to knock the back off it, and just makes sure nestles in the back of the net. Don't need power, just need direction, just need confidence. That will do him a power of good. You have to say, that's slightly against the run of play this second half.
Charlton looking so good going forward, but they left a gap at the back. And there's several Watford supporters, most of them I'm sure, are still coming to terms with what looks like the likely loss of Marlon King to Fulham. A new goal-scoring name is in the club honours books. Nathan Ellington opened his account. Here's Tommy Smith. Watford looking to make hay while they're having this good spell, and they force a good save from Nicky Weaver.
Well, again, Tommy Smith running right down the right-hand side. Hugo looks to have got him there. Does it, and he's strong, he checks, and he goes again wide. Gets to the byline, lovely little ding, just doesn't beat Weaver. Full stretch, puts it over the top. That's lifted everybody at this stadium.
Too much on that one as he tried to dig it out from a soggy part of the pitch.
Varney put him under pressure again. Leave it, happy man now. They feel his side were a little bit under the cosh. They're stuck to the task.
Hugo. Charlton. Looking forward through Varney. To wait just about an hour for a goal. Watford and Nathan Ellington. His wait has been a much longer and more painful one. 19 games. So many questions asked about his £3.25 million move from West Bromwich Albion. The weekend that Marlon King gets ready to pack his bags and make the move to the capital. The timing is perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, the shout went up from the Watford faithful. Are you watching Marlon King? Did a magnificent job for them, you have to say.
You can understand the gripes of the Watford supporters. They clearly feel that they have a great chance of going up this season. But they feel that Fulham are certainly in the pack, who are threatened with relegation from the Premier League. Why leave? It's the question mark they have. Saga shortly to be consigned to the past, it would seem. The present is Watford's desire to move back to the top and get another one to cement their position here. McCarthy's header away.
That's fantastic defending from McCarthy. Ellington again spots Henderson. Look at this for a stretch. He was dead and buried if he didn't get that. Tremendous agility, gets there. Could have stopped a certain goal.
Stewart. Just a little bit too high there from the substitute Mariappa.
Again, it's decent quality in. It gives his teammates a chance to attack it. He does well. Just gets a little nudge there, puts him off.
Charlton, just one win in their last 8 games. They have it in them to come back here. Well, amongst the best in this league at scoring in matches, as we touched on earlier on. No one has scored more frequently in this division than they do, but also that tendency to concede costs them dearly.
Well, Bill have had enough chances in this game to get on target, but so far they've failed.
Iwelumo's header, Varney. Lloyd Sam had just cut in as the ball was angled out towards where Varney thought he would be.
I certainly think it's time for Andy Gray to make an appearance. Talk about link-up players, and he is very good at that. Good first touch. Bring him on alongside Varney would be a good move.
Henderson looking to release Ellington. He must feel a mighty weight lifted off his shoulder. Going right on the shoulder again, Varney, and the assistant's flag denies Charlton. Tommy Smith has had an excellent evening for Watford. Using the gap left by the run of Mariappa. Ambrose. Iwelumo, clever touch on for Darren Ambrose, who's looking to get away from Mariappa. Support from Holland at full tilt, who was taken down by Damien Francis. Free kick, and surely a yellow card as well.
Got to be a yellow card. Knew exactly what he was doing, spotted the danger, and the referee spotted it as well. Rightly going into his pocket for the yellow card. Premeditated. No argument from Francis. Lovely ball from Ambrose again. Holland bursting forward there, just comes cynically across, takes him out. Spotted the danger, no attempt for the ball whatsoever.
First Watford yellow card. Charlton have had 2 players' names taken. Ambrose and Holland, the 2 standing over this one for the visitors. Darren Ambrose.
A long, long way out. It's going to be an absolute top quality free kick from there. High and handsome.
Time for the new boy. 30-year-old, former Scottish international. Top scorer this season for Burnley. And latest Charlton arrival.
What a time to be a hero. Debut. Certainly got the ability to make an impact in this game.
So many different stories that are possible here at Vicarage Road this afternoon. At the moment, the script reads Watford heading for their first home win since October, courtesy of the first ever goal for the club by Nathan Ellington. Another little ingredient has been thrown into the mix, though, by Alan Pardew. Will there be a debut goal for Andy Gray to salvage something for Charlton? Still plenty of time, just over a quarter of the match remaining. Holland. Mutuakil. So a new strike partner for Luke Varney to get used to. He's playing more advanced of Andy Gray. He's just playing off a little bit by the look of things, Gary.
Yeah, I think he'll still keep getting in the channels like he's done the whole of the match so far. They don't want to stop that movement. Andy Gray can do that as well. He can get in channels, he can hold the play up, he can wait for midfield to join in. Different player to Iwalumu.
Well, Adrian Mariappa, who has come on for an injured defender already, will have to make way by the look of things. And another reshuffle is prompted. That's young John Joe O'Toole, another product like the man he's about to replace of the Watford Academy.
Well, this is what Watford have got to keep doing, bringing people through the academy. They are getting money for people like Ashley Young and Marlon King, but still they've got to bring players through.
Oh, wonderful business done with both of those. The best part of 9 million got for Ashley Young. Hamad Bouatsa as well, homebred, sold to Fulham, and for even more money. It has mooted the transfer fee to take Marlon King there, even though we understand there may be a couple of hitches with his medical. The official word from Watford, by the way, on the Marlon King transfer is that it is still ongoing, and they await the latest from Fulham. It looks, Gary, like Lee Williamson's dropped back from midfield to right back, and John Joe O'Toole back in his accustomed position alongside Damien Francis there in the heart of the Watford midfield.
Yeah, makes sense. But again, disruption to that back line.
They're looking pretty fluid going forward. Nathan Ellington playing on the shoulder of Bugera and winning a corner. It's a different Nathan Ellington we're seeing out there now.
Well, it certainly is, but Bugera does well here. Lovely little ball by McAnuff. Look how strong he is, Bugera. Claiming he was pushed, but no real contact.
You don't suddenly lose it, do you? Last time he was promoted from this level, he scored 24 goals with Wigan. Lost his way slightly. You're seeing the renaissance of Nathan Ellington. And suddenly seeing a Watford corner. Well attacked by Jada Merritt at the near post. Stewart. There's Doyley. No chance taken as Varney tanks forward. Hoping for a Watford slip-up on this somewhat treacherous, certainly increasingly treacherous playing surface at Vicarage Road. The rain still really coming down as the atmosphere hots up. Can update you on the condition of Adrian Mariappa. Had to get a knock to the head, got concussion, so was taken off, feeling a little bit queasy. A burst from Yassine Mutuakil. Andy Gray among those in the centre. That's a terrific challenge by Joby McAnuff. Defending, and here comes the attacking. He's asking a lot there of Jordan Stewart, who finds the answers, digs deep to do just that. Mutuakil is back. And space for McAnuff. Can he pick the pass? Tommy Smith. In comes the shot, touch from Bugera, swept away by Mutuakil, up to Andy Gray, on by Sam, Varney the only Charlton player in the Watford half. It's the battle at the top of the Championship. We've got League 2 action for you Monday night on Sky Sports. Chesterfield against Hereford, both sides going for promotion. See it on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Zengzi. Oh, Varney got close.
Well, just came off his marker, Doyley, there, didn't he? Z turns, does well here. Just puts it in a really good area. Look, just gets half a yard on Doyley. And you get a bit of better contact here. Just gets up a little bit early. I think he's made the step up very well indeed.
No doubt that it did take him time to settle. Wasn't always regularly in the starting lineup. No place for him in that 4-5-1 that was favoured for a long time by Alan Pardew.
It's a learning curve, though, especially for a striker.
Just look at the record: 2 goals in his first 3 months in Championship football with Charlton, 2 in his last 2 league games. Henderson.
This shows if you give a player a chance and a number of games, especially up front again, you get your rewards from it. Having confidence in your players you buy.
Henderson. Although they find themselves in the driving seat, there's been a cloud to Watford's evening so far, and that has been the injuries they've picked up: the concussion to Mariappa, the neck injury to Davenport, and they'll be hoping and praying that Williamson is able to carry on, sadly walking a little gingerly here. Here's the makeshift right back. No way beyond Ambrose, and he needs to be careful. He's already been booked, Darren Ambrose, and shirt pulling is not suggested when you're walking that tightrope.
Just outwitted, wasn't he? The arm comes straight across, obstruction right next to the assistant. You're right. Another day, that would have been a yellow card.
As usual, Jordan Stewart will use that left foot of his to try and trouble Charlton. Uger away. Varney caught under the flight of it. Here is Williamson. Bugera.
It's a bit of a worry for Watford when they do have set pieces. Everybody goes up and Doyley's left by himself.
Now Sam was looking to get clear that. He was certainly pulled back by Joby McAnuff. Yellow card, I'm sure, will follow.
Didn't think he was going to give him a card there. Again, he's got it right, the referee. Lovely ball, slid down the side, there you see, straight away. Tug on the shirt, a little trip. But gets his team out of trouble. He'll take the yellow card.
Well, 3 of the 4 bookings we've seen so far have all been for very similar fouls, stopping men getting away from them in the wet, down the flanks. Angle towards Varney. And a gap inside the penalty area, which no one could pounce on.
I'll tell you what, but if I was Varney, I'd be absolutely livid that nobody gambled there and got in. A terrific header down. The goalkeeper just came out, walked out, casually picked it up.
Sounds like Andy Gray moved away from the area where Varney played the ball. He's offside here, Luke Varney.
Yeah, not a lot in it. He's having a go at the assistant. As the ball played, he did look slightly offside.
Henderson, that's Bugera, and this is Andy Gray. Lloyd Sam. Sam just gets it in the mix. Singzi couldn't get that. In sort of red-hot scoring form the man from China's in at the moment. He's the one they'd have wanted in that area, but just couldn't make up the ground.
It's terrific when you've got a midfield player like that who just goes in late. I suppose that was a perfect ball for Uolumo to come and attack, but no longer on the pitch.
Win, lose or draw, Charlton have scored in their last 12 games. They have just over 12 minutes to continue that run. Zengzi, Ambrose. It's opening up for Darren Ambrose here. Oh, yes! A belter from Darren Ambrose, which Lee could only parry in, and parry security for Watford against Charlton.
Well, did this move in the air? You thought he was going to shoot, then he stopped. Thought he was going to shoot again. Picks it up, he's a long way out. Some good runs away to create the space. Thought he was going to shoot, didn't. Look at the movement, and you have to fault the goalkeeper, I'm sorry. He checks again, not closed down. And the keeper has to do better. He will see if there's any real movement. There's a little bit, but he's just got across too quickly and too far, and it's a bit of a howler.
Chance after chance he's had, Darren Ambrose. Finally, with a little bit of help from his friend in the Watford goal, he has struck. And I think that we may just find he was about to be substituted anyway due to the let-off he'd had a moment ago on a yellow card. So right in the thick of it, for one reason or another, Darren Ambrose. And what a way to sign off if he is about to make way.
I've got to say they deserve to be in this game. Charlton created a lot of chances, a lot of the play.
Looked like he'd held on for it for too long as well, didn't he? Darren Ambrose, but managed to get it in, which is what Varney does here. Great!
Well, there you see the danger. Gets in the right area.
Little casual by Yassine Mutuakil. McAnuff bounces. Here's Henderson. Ellington waits in the middle. Away by McCarthy. The rain's coming down in steroids now here.
What Watford don't do particularly well is get a lot of players in the box. We saw there the ball was played down the left-hand side, and the only man in the box there was Ellington. Midfield have to help.
Well, it's a terrific story, isn't it, with a happy ending. Adrian Boothroyd in the match programme says whatever happens here tonight in terms of the result, the biggest and best result of the season was when common sense prevailed and Al Bangura was given permission to stay in the country. Big cheer from the Watford supporters as he comes on, and Charlton make a change as well. Chris Dixon, the young striker, brought from non-league football, scored the equaliser away at West Bromwich Albion in the FA Cup, comes on to try and fashion a Charlton win here. Either way, it looks like we're in for a cracking last 10 minutes.
Well, big target man comes on again. Varney's moved out to the right-hand side to help out in midfield.
Here is Dixon. Bangura. Henderson. McAnuff seems to have found extra reserves of energy as the match has gone on, and it's always a little bit more tiring on these heavy pitches, isn't it? Dixon, he just won't give up the fight against Jay Demerit. In the end, decision goes against him.
What did he do there? Demerit. He stays strong. He makes a bit of a hash of this one to start with. But look how strong he is after that. Stays on his feet, he's composed, and he gets the foul. That's really good defending.
Had to be, didn't it? Anything other than that, and Dixon would have been away, looking to add his first league goal to his first for the club. Confident young character, the man they signed from Dulwich Hamlet. And a great loan spell at Gillingham as well this season, Chris Dixon. 11 goals in 14 games. Bangura.
It's nothing ball, isn't it?
It'll just be great for him to have a little bit of time out there in the middle. And everything else, he's had an injury that's been bedeviled by injuries.
Already we've seen how important Andy Gray could be to this Charlton side. I don't think he's got a first touch wrong yet.
Doyley away. Yuga. No doubt about it, both these sides still want to win this match. Yuga. Well headed on. Holland's made the move into the box. Bangura back doing some defending, but they just can't get it clear here.
Well, it's going to be a little bit nervy for Watford and the fans now.
Varney, a chase for Dixon against the hard-looking Lloyd Doyley.
Varney not happy with the delivery, but he was at full stretch there, Dixon. Somebody should have got near post a bit quicker.
Bugera. He's onside here, Dixon. No flag against him. He could finish it here for Charlton. And Richard Lee makes amends for an earlier slip-up.
Almost looked lazy, didn't it, Dixon? Did he think he was offside? What a chance that is.
Henderson glanced up for McAnuff. Moved to a kill. That's the measure of McAnuff. 2 draws when they met as Premiership strugglers last season. We'll meet again next month in the Championship. Is it going to be another stalemate here, though? Advantage Watford with Nathan Ellington's first goal for the club. After joining in August, he finally scored in January. Levelled up Darren Ambrose, his second in 2 games.
Doyley's just got no intent in playing the ball there. Well, there's the man who could have won the game. Very tight there. Just a little bit lazy here. What good goalkeeping. Lee comes out, could have dived in, could have slid in a little bit earlier, didn't. He waited, then he committed. It's a really good save.
Reflection off Bangura has made life more difficult for his teammates. Here's Dixon. Made by Jonjo O'Toole. Zengzi. Dixon turned into trouble and into Al Bangura.
The problem Watford are finding now, they've been so disrupted in their system with the players they've lost through injury. That's why a lot of space is opening up for Charlton. Doyley's had to come into centre half, lost the right back. You lose so many key players in key areas, it's difficult to respond.
Bangura. O'Toole. Temporarily thrown off the shackles of Matt Holland. Here's Demerit, Watford captain. Now Tommy Smith. And after a pretty much impeccable evening, just put a foot wrong there.
And that's unfortunate. Demerit's the other player who's really shone for Watford. Henderson's not done bad second half. He's led the line really, really well.
Bugera. Varney. Checks Jordan Stewart, a Watford free kick.
I'll tell you what, there's been so much commitment out there from both sets of players in these conditions. It's been end-to-end, it's been entertaining, there's been mistakes, there's been moments of quality, there's been howlers. It's certainly lived up to its pre-match prediction.
Ray back there doing the defending. It was McCarthy who got it clear. Back in by Demerit. Holland forced to head clear. Yuga hasn't got much distance on that. In by Demerit. O'Toole! And they get it behind eventually. Combination of goalkeeper and defender.
Did he lose his bearings here, O'Toole? Demerit does it really well. It's in again. Look at this ball one. Demerit again. Look at that. Makes it his. I don't know what he was trying to do there, O'Toole. And what is the reaction from Bugera? O'Toole didn't think he was aware of his surroundings. And I don't think that's... Oh, I'm not sure he caught him there. Delayed reaction there. How much if that punch actually caught him. Is he just running down the clock? I think possibly.
A glancing blow from his own goalkeeper.
A massive delayed reaction, wasn't there?
Well, the villain of the piece, as far as the Watford fans are concerned, is news spreads of his participation in Callum Davenport's injury towards the end of the first half. Charlton want to make a change here. So they're going to be allowed to do it before time is out. Bugera's going to come off, and Jonathan Fortune, who has been out with a heel injury for the last 3 or 4 games, is going to come on to shore things up at the back. And plenty of defending and shoring to be done. Last minute of normal time. Is there a late twist in this championship tale? It's loose, real chance here. And Williamson's drill shot couldn't be diverted goalwards.
Again, he tries to just smash it as hard as he can. Comes out, look at that, both feet off the floor. Just steady yourself and concentrate on, look, it's nowhere near the target, and the reaction at the far post was just one that there's no way he was going to be able to get onto it.
The one goal he has scored this season, Lee Williamson, was a winner against Sheffield United. Is it to be that Watford's winless run at home goes on? Chris Dixon goes up through the gears as Lee comes out. We're in that added 4 minutes.
Game you could possibly say deserves to be a draw. Both teams have battled supremely well in these conditions. Both have had the chances.
Well, you often hear managers talk about character and commitment, whatever the result is. And like you say, Gary, it's been here in bucket loads, just like the rain.
It's never stopped, has it? Tempo's never dropped at all.
Demerit lances forward too far off Damien Francis. Cruel time to lose it now. And what a time to win it. Late drama here when Watford lost to Bristol City. Looked like that one was heading for a draw. Surely lightning won't strike twice in that respect. Maybe it will. Zhengzi shouldered out of it by Tommy Smith. It's a foul. Well, controversial decision there.
Well, he's got most things right, the referee. I'm not sure about this one. You allowed a shoulder charge? I thought you still could shoulder charge. Z goes across. I think that's shoulder to shoulder. Referee quite away from it. Not a good angle. And if this goes against them, they'll be livid.
Halfway through added time. The most recent player added to the Charlton books among those gathered in a massively congested penalty area. A massively important stage of the game. In by Ambrose and wide by Zhengzi. He got the free shot.
And he knows what a great chance he's had to win this. Look at the time, the space. Just wasn't aware of his angles, his direction, where he was. Look, just nowhere near, just tries to pass it in. And Watford were asleep to that one.
Henderson. Charlton have their chance. Can Watford make one for themselves? Joby McAnuff skips beyond Mutu Akil. Deflected. Henderson couldn't get there. Corner kick Watford.
Well, McCarthy again. Terrific defending. Last-ditch defending. Had to get his head on that. Henderson was bearing down on him.
Both these two keeping on going right till the end, and we nearly are there. Seconds remain. Ambrose, the scorer of the Charlton equaliser. Bangora. McAnuff. Zengzi's header. Watford's corner.
Well, desperate for a better quality corner than the last one. Got to concentrate and keep it away from the keeper in between the 6-yard box penalty spot and give people a chance to attack it.
Toby McAnuff. Darius Henderson and a push.
Well, the corner was put in the right place. Unfortunate that there was a push. At least it gives his teammates a chance to attack. There wasn't much of a push there.
Well, the 4 minutes are up. And so too is the game. The honours will be shared between Messrs Pardew and Boothroyd. A vastly entertaining contest here. A first goal for Nathan Ellington for Watford, cancelled out by another one on this ground for Darren Ambrose, who scored here last season. Watford 1, Charlton Athletic 1.
And maybe both managers would take that in those awful conditions at Vicarage Road. Watford are back in the top 2. That point good enough for them. Charlton started the day in 5th, finish it in 6th place, still in the playoff reckoning. First chance to see Premier League action in football first tonight. The game of the day is Reading Man United plus match choice from 8:25 on Sky Sports 1. Well, Watford were dreaming of their first home win since October, but Darren Ambrose found his shooting boots at last. The points are shared. We'll have reaction next.
Saturday night football.
It finished Watford 1, Charlton 1 in the pouring rain at Vicarage Road. Tommy Smith was the man of the match. He's with Greg Whelan.
Tommy, a point against one of your chief promotion rivals, but does that feel like 2 points dropped out there today?
Yeah, I think it does today, you know. We huffed and puffed at the end, and, you know, it's always going to be tough with the conditions today, but, you know, I think we're a bit disappointed with the goal towards the end, and possibly deserved 3 points, but we'll probably see it as 2 points dropped today.
On the plus side, a goal at last for Nathan Ellington. What will that do for his confidence, do you feel?
Yeah, much needed. You know, he's been working hard off the pitch at the training ground, and, you know, he really needed that boost because, you know, he's been coming on, doing bits and bobs, but, you know, he's really getting his chance now Kingy's gone, so, you know, hopefully many more where that came from.
Well, Tommy, you are the parade man of the match. Many congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, Watford thought it might be their day. They haven't won at home since mid-October. They got the lead, but Peter Biggery, Charlton got themselves back in it.
Yeah, they did, and it was a game for large periods devoid of any real quality. The pitch wasn't so good, and the conditions were terrible. But in the end, it made for an interesting finish, didn't it? But a fair result, I think.
And Nathan Ellington, we talked about him. At last, he got his goal.
Yeah, and it was a typical Watford goal, really. Great ball by Jordan Stewart from inside his own half. And if we watch it for the second time, Henderson does what he does well, pulls off into the full-back, Hugo. Decoy run by Damien Francis, and he's got the picky spot, keep his knee over the ball and passes it into the corner. And Charlton, you know, got the equaliser. And it was good football again, nice tidy play, Yenji involved, and he finds Ambrose in the centre of the pitch. We all know about his shooting prowess, and he's had about 5 or 6 shots today, kept going and got his reward.
Talk about the goalkeeper here, though, Peter.
Yeah,
Richard
well,
Lee.
we look at it from behind the goalkeeper's sight. The ball does move a touch, but not enough, really. He should be saving that, you know, really, really comfortably.
But will A.D. Boothroyd be disappointed? Will it be 2 points thrown away?
Well, I think on reflection, looking at the players that lost, Davenport and his replacement as well, you know, Mariappa, I think on the whole he won't be happy, but he'll understand that a point at home, it stopped the rot a bit.
I suppose Charlton will be pleased with another away point. Let's just have a look at the table and see where that leaves us. We're almost at the home straight, Peter. It's very tight, isn't it? When you look at 2nd to 6th, just 4 points in it. Yeah, it's interesting. With 2 weeks to go to the transfer window, you know, if Watford get that 5 million that's alluded that they're going to get, you know, for Marlon King, how will they spend it? Because I think Stoke, who've been the second biggest spenders, have bought really, really well for that final push. And Cardiff, improving. Ipswich need to find a way to win away from home. Wolves could be back in form as well. It just shows you how tight the division is and, you know, how very even it is. And the run that Cardiff's had, the run that Crystal Palace have had,
there's big squads in this division, quality squads that can go on a run and have a real bearing, and the 2 automatic promotion places aren't secured yet.
It must be a worry to Eddie Boothroyd that his team can't find a way to win at home. I think it's 19 home points, 29 away from home. Is there a danger if they're losing Marlon King and they can't find a replacement, that they might slip out of the picture altogether?
Yeah, definitely. There's always a worry of that, and they need a goal scorer to replace the goals that King gives them, but they also need a big character, because when you're struggling at home, it takes Bottle. Bottle's not just crashing into tackles and being brave, it's being brave on the ball, accepting responsibility and trying to make things happen.
When you look at the players that Charlton didn't use today, Ben Thatcher, Fortune, Sodje to come back in, also Andy Reid, Zay McLeod, who didn't play today. There's strength there, isn't there?
It's a fantastic squad, and I think, you know, you look at their squad and you look at West Bromwich Albion's, and if a manager, you know, coming in and looking at them 2 squads, would say they are the strongest in the division.
How do you see this working out then, when they've added Andy Gray? They've already got Chris Uwalumo, also Varney. Where would be your favoured front 2 from that lot?
I would look at Varney because he's pace and he can test people and play off the shoulder and go in behind, and Andy Gray is excellent. He's a goal scorer, he's a goal threat, but he's also reliable. You can build you know, from the back to the front off him. He's really, really strong. His all-round game is perfect and ideal for the foil the other way, which is Luke Varney with his pace.